What if superheroes from Marvel and DC Universe became Pokemon? For more than 3 years now, I've been making this Pokemon fan game called Pokemon Multiverse that features 400 plus Marvel and DC based Fakemon with custom moves, stats, abilities up to Generation 9. And in this jam-packed video, I will be showing all 37 teams including all 30 plus free agents, so be sure to watch till the end. The Justice League. They're also one of the strongest teams in the game stat-wise, but they noticeably have 4 fighting types on the team. But the real challenge with this group is whether Batman, Green Lantern, and Hawkgirl can carry the run while waiting for Superman, Wonder Woman, and Aquaman to evolve. The Avengers. The Avengers might be the most popular team in the draft pool. However, they have some duplicate typings in Electric, Steel, and Normal, which could do more harm than good in a playthrough. It helps that Pangama does not need to evolve, and Captain America, Iron Man, Black Widow, and Hawkeye evolves relatively early compared to Thor, who evolves at level 50. The Justice Society of America. The JSA might not be the biggest fan favorite here, but they've got 4 members with at least 500 BST who don't need to evolve. And with Spectre and Captain Atom being 2 of the strongest mons in the game, they're projected to be picked very early in this draft. The Legion of Doom. The Legion of Doom is the first villain team in the draft pool. And as expected from a Justice League villain team, they've got serious power with Lex Luthor, Brainiac, and Gorilla Grodd. They share some common typings in Steel and Ground, but those are solid types regardless. The real question, how high will they go in the draft? For the X-Men, Moltrex with a whopping 740 BST is an undeniable powerhouse once it evolves at level 50. Until then, Wolverine and the squad will need to rely on their type versatility to hold out. It'll also be interesting to see if Storm and Ice One's weather ability help the player or make things harder. Justice League International. JLI is unique in that every member has at least 530 BST, a rare feat. Plus, they're led by Shazam who boasts 680 BST. With only 2 duplicate typings and strong synergy, this is one of those teams that might not need a strong free agent to do good in this race. The Cable. The Cable is possibly the most intimidating Marvel villain team in the pool. With Thanos, Doctor Doom, and Red Skull leading the charge, the team averages a high 560 BST across 5 members, leaving room for a free agent pick. Whoever drafts this team is in for a power-packed run for sure. The Injustice Society. The Injustice Society might also not be a fan favorite, but this 5-man team has an elite offensive core in Black Adam, Yellow Lantern, and Cersei. Defensively, they've got solid coverage with 2 ghost types and a rubber type, making them a very well-rounded team to consider. The Teen Titans Rogue Gallery. The Teen Titans Rogue Gallery is a tentative entry due to lack of engagement on my previous posts. But if you're watching this video and want to see them in action, be sure to comment down below. That said, this team is led by a 680 BST legendary Trigon, which makes this team no joke. Despite a few duplicate typings being Dark and Fire, they have the potential to perform well in this race. Arrowverse. I know Flash is a Justice League staple, but having a CW-inspired team just made so much sense. With its own established universe and fandom, this squad, featuring Flash, Supergirl, Green Arrow, Rip Hunter, and Vibe, looks great on paper. But we'll see how they perform in the game. The Justice League Dark. The Justice League Dark may be known for dealing with magical threats, having Dr. Fate, Constantine, Zatanna, and Etrigan on the team. Add in Lobo and Swamp Thing to hit on the physical side, and you've got one of the most well-rounded 6-man teams in Marcy Legion. So excited to see this squad in action. The Asgardians might just be an underdog pick due to their lack of popularity, collectively. Without Thor, it might be Loki's presence alone that keeps them interesting. Lastly, with Hela and Heimdall added to the mix, this team could surprise people if they make it to the draft. Comment down below if I should add them. The Symbiotes. The Symbiotes might be the most hyped team so far thanks to Venom and Symbiote Spider-Man. And with Null leading the team at 660 BST from the start, they're set to wreak havoc. Importantly, every member has the symbiote ability boosting their physical attack but making them weak to sound and extra weak to fire. But I get the hype. They look insanely cool. The Lantern Corps. The Lantern Corps members all start with 580 BST, which gives them a huge advantage over other teams. However, being a mono cosmic 5-man team means their success depends on how well the player understands this new typing and its matchups. The Thunderbolts. The Thunderbolts gained a major boost with the recent addition of Red Hulk to the game. With his 660 BST alongside Juggernaut, this team is packing serious physical power. However, knowing how to trigger Gamma Surge will be crucial to making them work effectively. The Midnight Suns. The Midnight Suns are undeniably one of the coolest teams in the draft, featuring Moon Knight, Ghost Rider, Blade, Man-Thing, and Magic. But with 4 of their 5 members sharing the dark typing, managing their weaknesses will be a big challenge. But with the right strategy, they can still dominate while looking awesome. House of M. House of M is another pending team that may not make the draft unless requested. This 4-man squad has a glaring weakness to fighting types, with 3 of its members being weak to it. However, it also features one of the strongest psychic types in the game, Scarlet Witch. This is one of the most famous families in comics, so let me know if they should make the cut. The Illuminati. The Illuminati might be one of the most unexpected teams out here. Known for their influence and power in the Marvel Universe, it'll be interesting to see how that will translate into a Pokemon team. With Professor X, Doctor Strange, Black Panther, Namor, and Beast, they're looking like a well-balanced squad overall. The Inhumans. The Inhumans is another team that might not make the draft unless voted in. Led by a powerful 610 BST Black Bolt, this team has a very solid type variety and synergy. Crystal, a fairy type member, even has the Protean ability, which is definitely a game changer. Shield. Shield might look underwhelming with 3 members being under 500 BST, namely Nick Fury, Wasp, and Falcon. But don't be fooled. They're all good role players, backed by Ant-Man, War Machine, and one of the game's legendary Pokemon, Captain Marvel. Their biggest issue? Too many duplicate typings. The Fantastic Four. The Fantastic Four has an extremely strong defensive core in Mr. Fantastic, Sue Storm, and The Thing. But with Human Torch and Silver Surfer on the team, they can also go crazy on offense. With all the hype surrounding this team, I won't be surprised if they get picked earlier than I predicted. Masters of Evil is a real threat, not just because of Ultron's 600 BST, but also its other members. Claw's unique sound and steel typing, Abomination having huge power, Winter Soldier's Beast Boost hidden ability, and MODOK having Levitate make this team one to watch. Teen Titans. Teen Titans have the most diverse typings in the draft with 11 unique typings among their 6 members. They're also a fan favorite team, Starfire being the strongest with 570 BST and a solid Dragon Fire typing. Team includes the classic members Robin, Cyborg, Beast Boy, Raven, and Aqualad. I'm very curious to see how early they'll get picked. The Spider-Verse. The Spider-Verse is insanely popular, thanks to Spider-Man being one of the most iconic superheroes ever. But will popularity be enough to overlook their glaring monobug typing? They've got decent BSTs though, so it'll be interesting to see how the player who drafts them handles their weaknesses. X-Force. X-Force is a 6-man team of mutants led by Deadpool and Cable. They're undeniably solid even with duplicate steel and psychic typings. I imagine it being picked around the middle of the draft, especially if there's an X-Men fan drafting. This team also features various custom abilities that will further boost their value. Flash's Rogue Gallery. Flash's Rogue Gallery benefits greatly from having a 590 BST reverse flash on the team from the start of the run. They may struggle against rock types, but thankfully, there aren't many of them in Marcy region. Spider-Man's Rogue Gallery. Spider-Man's Rogue Gallery is one of 2 Spider-Man villain teams in the draft. Each member is almost equally popular with each other and equally powerful. With no duplicate primary typings, whoever drafts this team will definitely enjoy strategizing how to use them while commanding some of the most famous supervillains known to man. The Suicide Squad. The Suicide Squad has some solid pieces, but if you're thinking of drafting them, know that Enchantress might just be your MVP. With only one weakness in Fairy, she helps cover many of the team's problems both offensively and defensively. Plus, with two steel types in Deadshot and Black Manta, Fairy type's threats won't be an issue. The Sinister Six. The Sinister Six is the other Spider-Man villain team and arguably even more recognizable as a unit. But will that translate to success? With duplicate typings in Steel, Normal, and Ground, this team will be one to watch in the race. Especially since they have only a slightly above average total BST of 3,084. The Secret Society of Supervillains. This is composed of a solid variety of villains who can hold their own. Headlined by Deathstroke, this team is definitely one of the underdogs in the supervillain category. All members evolve early to mid-game aside from Clayface, making them a steady team, especially when mastered early. Guardians of the Galaxy. Guardians of the Galaxy is one of the most diverse teams typing-wise in the draft pool, boasting 10 unique typings. But what makes them even more unique is that they're the only team with 7 members, including the Steel Electric type Nebula. This gives the trainer who drafts this team a huge advantage, knowing they'll get a total of 8 members to use for the run. The Defenders. The Defenders are a 6-man team of street-level superheroes that nearly became a mono-fighting type team. This would have posed a serious challenge when fighting flying or fairy type opponents. However, it's also worth noting that Steel and Dark types are two of the most abundant typings in the game, both of which are weak to fighting. The Brotherhood of Mutants. The Brotherhood of Mutants is a classic villain team that might get drafted based on popularity alone. They boast a great defensive core with 2 rubber types and 2 ground steel types, making them very tough to break through. However, Pyro might have to carry their offensive load on many occasions. The Bat Family. The Bat Family is a fan favorite team in theory, but without Batman himself, can Nightwing and Red Hood lead them to success? With Alfred and 3 Batgirls rounding out the team, they might struggle against trainers with legendary Pokemon. But hey, the Bat Family always finds a way. Batman's Rogue Gallery. Batman's Rogue Gallery is one of the weaker teams stat-wise, but we all know how Batman's villains fight, not by brute force or magic but with wit and strategy. However, stats aren't their only concern. They also share some common weaknesses they'll need to be mindful of, especially with fighting type being one of the most abundant typings in the game. Excalibur. Excalibur is an all-mutant squad headed by Gambit and Shadowcat. This might be a hidden gem in the late rounds if still available. They have a strong core of Fairy, Dragon, and Sound-type Pokemon which could be challenging to master but rewarding to use. It starts with 2 fully evolved Pokemon while the other 4 evolve early to mid-game. Birds of Prey. Birds of Prey may pose the biggest challenge for any player who drafts them if we're only looking at base stats. That factor alone intrigues me if someone will be up for the challenge or will it be selected last alongside the first free agent pick. But don't get it twisted, Birds of Prey has always proven that they're fierce enough to get things done. Okay, now that we're done with the teams for the first round, let's go to the free agent. Let's start with these 6. We have the pure cosmic type Dr. Manhattan, the 760 BST Galactus, the pure dragon type Darkseid, the dragon and steel type Anti-Monitor, Mephisto with the illusion ability, and the cosmic and fire type Dormammu. Next set has the fighting and dark type Doomsday. Next is Apocalypse with Supreme Overlord, Kang with the only Wonder Guard in the game, the rock and grass type Ego, Mr. Sinister with the power of alchemy, and Mold Breaker Ronan. Now, let's go to characters that aren't as powerful but can still be very helpful. We have the Collector with Pickup, Vision with Download, Russell Gold with Adaptability and Regenerator, Ocean Master with Swift Swim or Rain Dish, the Royal Flash Gang with Serene Grace or Scaling Ability, Mera with Water and Fairy Typing, Pure Electric Havoc with Siphoner, Stinger or Stature with Delayed Hit, Sunspot with Drought and Solar Power, Psychic and Dark type Agatha Harkless, Steel type Sentinel, and the rubber normal type morph with imposter. And that's it for this video. Let me know which team do you think will win the race and show this video to your favorite content creator if you think they should join. Lastly, subscribe to see more Pokemon Multiverse contents and updates. Doc Perry out. Bye!